and welcome to some more Star Citizen with updates on the 890 jump, the Carrack, ArcCorp and Thruster VFX. This is also a summary of Around the Verse, Carrack News, ArcCorp Views. It was a fantastic episode. Thruster VFX are being updated for 3.5 and the new flight model. The new IFCS system will have individual damage to thrusters, and they wanted a visual representation of that to see how damaged your ship is, or a target or a friendly is, at a glance. They are experimenting with exactly what they want currently and making lots of various iterations on different looks. So they're using fire and smoke and erratic sort of engine trails to see what looks good. Optimizing and tweaking will all come later. It's certainly not finalized. Don't worry if you don't like what you see. There will be sparks, dusts, plasma going everywhere, all with the goal of making any damage or wear obvious with those VFX. Destroyed components should also be obvious and different to that as well. Maybe large rampant fires going out of control or plumes of smoke bellowing out of a damaged or destroyed component. They connect the damage directly with DataForge, so the VFX you're seeing will be directly related to the damage you've received, ranging from barely taking any damage to the component being entirely destroyed. The 890 jump, we saw some updates on the ship. The ship is in its grey box phase. They're building out the geometry, which will then lead into final art. It is looking like an amazing, beautiful space shot. I'm happy because I have one. They are determining the placement of the turrets still. Window sizes and shapes may change as they're still working out what works well for them. Thruster orientation is going through various iterations as well. Interior-wise, they showed a mixture of white box and grey box, but it's clean, open, spacious, and minimalist at the moment. They showed the atrium, which has trees, the master suite with interesting stairs, the medical bay, it does have a little medical bay, which is going to be very useful, the bathrooms as well, which is very important in every ship. I said minimalist earlier, but they stated that they wanted to address the feeling of sparseness that the 600i had with this ship as well. So obviously it's going to go through a lot of tweaking, and it's going to look very good, I suspect, once it's done. The Carrack is also in its mid-grey box phase. They showed off the drone bay, but no drones in there at the moment, just the control seat and the ceiling hooks for them. The mess hall has a table and room for 6 chairs currently, which coincidentally is the size of the crew for the ship. The bridge was also shown with 3 chairs hanging down, seats hanging down, sort of like the main control chairs. Above that is a hollow table, so they've gone back to the tabled-styled mapping suite for the ship, it looks like, rather than the hollow globe that they used to have, or at least we're talking about. There is progress on the retractable cockpit shielding too. Exterior-wise, the ship has retractable antenna. I'm not sure what you get as a bonus for having them out. Probably better detection or something. They've made changes to the profile of the ship as well. Its landing gear specifically, bringing it lower to the ground when it lands to give it a more streamlined profile, make it look a bit more sensible like a ship, and a little bit less like a Dachshund like it did before. The fact it's being made in parallel, sort of like time-wise, with the 890 jump leads me to believe that it might be done reasonably soon, as early as 3.6, the Carrack. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. Some other 3.5 stuff. There is progress on the Coda pistol and the S71 assault rifle. They've been tweaking the concept of the tarantula weapons for ships too, and that should be quite good to get an updated one in the game. ArcCorp is entirely covered in city and man-made structures. They have done a lot of work on the industrial and suburb areas. They are creating a large range of buildings and assets for these areas and then using the procedural gen to scatter them around the planet. They are working on how the transitions will look between areas and districts from one to another. So you've got the suburb areas, you've got these industrial areas, you've got the more commercial areas. They all need to blend together in a sensible way. The suburbs and lower suburbs are areas immediately around the landing zone area 18, and the lower suburbs have buildings no taller at the moment than 350 to 400 meters. They're experimenting with having no-fly zones around this height as well, so you can fly around the tops of these buildings, and it gives you a good mixture of levels of detail and immersion, so they can have some low poly buildings down really far down below, and it doesn't sort of like wreck your experience. The buildings also integrate very well with ground textures at this sort of height as well, giving the whole planet a bit more depth. The downtown areas have much taller buildings though. The city tiles are bespoke and not procedurally scattered around the planet. So these downtown areas will be directly proximate to Area 18 as well. They've tested with doing it entirely procedurally, these sort of areas, and with a mixture of procedurally and hand-placed buildings. But they've decided that they want the area around Area 18 to be a lot more hand-placed and a lot more bespoke and sort of like artist-driven. So they're still likely to use these sort of like more unique buildings and large building assets around the planet too, maybe partly to mark out other areas and landing zones, places of interest, that sort of stuff. But expect Area 18 and its proximate area to be very high quality and for all to be sort of like hand placed where possible. They want the buildings in the downtown area to be up to 1 kilometer tall, and they are actually above the no-fly zone. So that means you'll be able to fly around them. The no-fly zone is going to be quite low here, and so they're experimenting with no-fly zones and getting this sort of like at a level that players enjoy. So we'll propagate down to Hurston at some point probably as well. Partly, this is to try the new flight model in atmosphere, and they talk about some of the other bits they're testing. If you pass into a no-fly zone, for example, they might have the system take control of your ship and fly you back out, or prevent you going lower. Not immediately blowing up when entering a no-fly zone is also something that they are working on, or at least it's on their list. So no hard shields anymore, I think is the idea. This also means, with current thinking, you will be able to land on these buildings in ArcCorp, the very tall ones. Maybe we will see missions or other bits that require you to land on buildings. It does remain to be seen for what reasons or functionality other areas around ArcCorp will have beyond Area 18 though. So in 3.5, is there going to be any actual gameplay reason to land on these buildings outside of Area 18 for any sort of like content that isn't driven entirely by players? Because obviously players will do crazy stuff and just decide to make their own missions up. But I'm excitedly waiting to see what they've got in store for us with that. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway. For February, it's for a Cutlass Black and Star Citizen game package. All you need to do is be subscribed to the channel and comment on any of my videos made during the month. If you don't have a gaming PC yet, or you are upgrading, instead consider Shadow Cloud Gaming. They allow you to leverage the powers of the internet to stream a high-spec Windows 10 environment to any other PC, Mac, or device like a smartphone or tablet. It is working really well in Star Citizen's 3.4 branch, and be sure to use the code BoredGamer if you do decide to check it out to get a discount. Links below. This channel exists because of its community. If you wish to support the channel further, below there are links to Patreon, Subscribestar, and there's the YouTube channel memberships, literally the join button below this video. VIPs do get some exclusive stuff and early content as a thank you as well. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or just want to say hi, please drop a comment below or poke me on discord.gg/BoredGamer. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the verse.